We want to thank everybody for joining us today. Welcome to today's webinar, COVID-19 Prevention and Protocol for Event Venues. This webinar will begin within the next minute or so, but in the meantime, I want to acknowledge and thank our sponsor today, which is alliedmobile.us. As you know, during today's webinar, we're going to be talking about the main concerns facing venues. We're going to talk about what clients are expecting from venues right now when booking and planning an event. We'll be talking about FDA-approved resources for COVID-19 prevention. And we'll be talking about how to implement a safe and secure environment for little to no cost. Very important. So let's get started. My name is Catherine McCommon. I am the Vice President of Regional Operations for ILD and EventScan. And today I'm going to be talking about what is EventScan and how can we use it for COVID-19 prevention for live events. I personally have been in the event industry for over 11 years now, and I can honestly say I have grown up in the industry. I look back 11 years ago and it blows my mind what has occurred since then. And in a post-COVID-19 world, I can relate as an event professional. I can relate to the concerns that those of you may be feeling. We are worried, we're scared, we're confused. We have a whole mixture of emotions right now. And on today's webinar, we have over 130 attendees registered. And so this is a conversation that is paramount in our community, and our industry is looking for ways to move forward. So let's talk about EventScan. So what is ILD's mission? What is the mission here at our ILD team? Well, it's to bring live events back in a safe and secure environment. That is the goal. So what challenges are facing the event industry today? Let's be honest. One of the largest challenges we're facing is insurance coverage. And I'm hearing this from clients, I'm hearing this from venues, and I'm also hearing this from fellow event professionals. Currently, insured events are facing higher premiums or rejection from providers. It's devastating for many venues that I work with. Event insurance is not readily available due to concerns by providers. So you may have noticed, or you may have heard from your clients, that when they have gone out looking for event insurance to cover their upcoming event, they are being denied. Providers are canceling liability insurance for event professionals. So I know many professionals I've met over the past 11 years, and what I'm hearing is many of them are having their policies canceled simply because of COVID-19. Last but not least, during the conversation of insurance coverage, the reason that a lot of insurance providers are concerned and very sketchy in whether or not they want to cover events is simply because skin temperature testing can be faulty. It is faulty. So you and I, we've all seen these handheld temperature scanners that simply test the exterior of the skin, the dermis. And unfortunately, there is an 85% chance of that reading being faulty and either having to do multiple readings or simply permit someone into or reject someone from going into an event based off of faulty information. Another challenge that we're facing in the event industry are client concerns. These are concerns that we're hearing pertaining to, will my guests be safe? What if a guest gets COVID-19 at my event or claims that they got COVID-19 at my event? Will my guests travel? Do they feel comfortable traveling? Can they drive? Can they fly? There are so many concerns, and those are just stacking up. Last but not least is the COVID-19 exposure question: who is liable? And unfortunately, I am seeing a lot of finger pointing, and I think that's just based off of lack of information. And we're seeing confusion among vendors, Clients are wanting to know who's to blame if a guest does get COVID-19, and employees are scared to return to work. And we can't blame employees for being scared to return to work because there's a lot of questions about whether or not their place of work is safe and is it secure. And those of you who are on the call today, you may be an employee of a venue or an employee of an event company. And I feel confident in saying, I know you have concerns. So in the advertising of this webinar, we were saying that there was going to be a groundbreaking national announcement. And that is what I'm here today to tell you about. So the solution has arrived, a solution that will bring live events back. We have now accessed patented technology that is used globally by governments and high security facilities, and it's now available to the event industry. I'll be honest with you, this technology was not easy to get our hands on, and we essentially had to jump through quite a few loops, and we also had to break through barriers. And thankfully, we have here at ILD a government security firm that is one of our clients. We've worked with them for many years. And when the COVID-19 pandemic began, we reached out to them simply to get some type of footing, some type of idea of what we were in store for. And through reaching out to them and through using that contact, we were able to convince them and this patented technology developer, we convinced them to allow us to access the technology and make it available to our event industry. So let's talk about it. Why is EventScan recommended for live events? EventScan is this technology. Well, it's fast and effective COVID-19 prevention. The University of Nebraska Medical Center published a study during the H1N1 pandemic. This study was about this technology called infrared thermal detection system. So what is an ITDS? Well, it's a system designed for facial scanning. And this facial scanning technology allows the user, i.e. the event host, and of course, ILD who's operating the technology, it allows us to get an accurate temperature reading on that individual, literally by scanning behind the eyes with this technology. It's currently being used by Fortune 500 companies, airports, and government buildings worldwide for COVID-19 prevention protocol because it was used during the H1N1 pandemic and it was successful. So where could we find it? We can find it being used by TSA at US airports, at the Hong Kong Airport Authority, and of course, Australian international airports. Australia is known for their security. Ford Motor Company is now using this technology to scan their employees and vendors entering and exiting their buildings. And Carnival Cruise Line has implemented this, and we'll see this technology truly on a daily basis at many of the businesses that we go to regularly. Also, you will find this technology at many of the Ministry of Health departments around the world, whether it be the French Ministry of Health or the Moroccan Ministry of Health. Why is EventScan recommended for live events? So how can we use this to bring events back? Well, it has a proven track record. It is FDA approved, and it has automated contact tracing technology. So in the technology, we can actually accomplish contact tracing. Why is that important? Well, it's important because insurance providers are communicating back to event professionals and event venues that they're requesting contact tracing. And of course, as an event community, we're all a little scattered in response to that, wondering how are we going to accomplish that? And so this system actually allows us to do that. It's automated. As I said, it's facial scanning. It's non-intrusive, it's quick, and it's fast. So let's talk about how it works. Well, in order to minimize the spread of COVID-19, EventScan allows us to scan all guests before entering an event. It takes 1 to 2 seconds per guest. Like I said, very quick, very fast. What does it include? It includes color imaging, temperature scales. So we can actually set the temperature threshold, and therefore those who are scanned, again, 1 to 2 seconds, those who are scanned either meet the temperature scale threshold or they don't. There is alarm notifications. So with this system, we can actually notify the event host. We can notify if there's an on-site security team, whether it be a hotel or a convention center, we're able to notify them. And of course, our operational team who's operating the system is also notified. There is a streamlined guest tracking system. So what this system is going to do, and again, we go back to the insurance conversation, they want contact tracing. So this system is going to actually track your guests. It will track their arrival time. You have a digital scan, which means you actually have evidence of that scan, and of course, digital reporting, which means it's recorded and stored. And again, it stores evidence. So with that evidence, say a guest returns back to the event host and claims that they contracted COVID-19 at the event. We have evidence showing that every single attendee was scanned for symptoms. And with that being on record, that record can actually be used to defend an event professional or a venue or a host. Very important. We're trying to return back to the confidence of hosting events. Last but not least is an automated liability waiver. So through our government security contact and through our legal department, we have developed an automated liability waiver integrated into the event scan system. Every single guest who attends the event cannot be permitted into the event without signing the waiver and being scanned. That waiver is actually provided to the host. It can be provided to the venue or the venue security team. And of course, it is kept on file as well with our team. And this is extremely, extremely valuable. I have many clients who are actually communicating to their guests ahead of time before the event, sharing the waiver ahead of time and having that waiver signed before the guest even travels to the event. And again, back to insurance coverage. These are all items that are needed in order to complete contact tracing. So of course, when you're talking about this type of technology, the question becomes, is it available? How available is it? And what is the pricing? Pricing and availability, it is patented technology. It's available nationwide for long-term rental or on an event-by-event basis. So what that means is that a venue can rent this technology, have it installed for a long-term rental, or an event producer or a DMC or an event professional or host can actually hire the event scan team here at ILD to administer the technology on site. And this is very common for large-scale conferences, especially multi-day conferences. When our trained professionals are on site, not only do they operate the system, but they actually initiate on-site safety protocol. And this is protocol that is reviewed with the client prior to the event. So pricing is based on the following factors: event location, number of entry and exit points, how many entry and exit points are we scanning? Simply put, how many entry and exit points are there that people are able to access the event? What is the guest traffic? How many scanning stations do we need? So scanning stations could easily be set up at a registration table. They could be set up actually at the entrance to the building. There are a lot of different options and different applications for determining how many stations are needed. And then overall, what is the event timeline? That plays a part. Do we need to scan individuals as they arrive to the conference for an evening registration and then also the next morning when the event starts? Is this a multi-day event? Are we only scanning them one time or multiple times? So the timeline is extremely important, and it does impact the cost. The good news, though, is that we do have a commission-based reseller program, and that program is available to venues and event professionals around the country through our affiliate program. So let's talk about a couple of common questions that are coming up and then the answers that we have for those questions. Is event scan expensive? That would be the question I would be thinking immediately. And the answer is no. We have priced the system to be affordable and easily billable to the end client. So what we have right now are venues and event producers are writing the cost of event scan into their standard contract. And by doing so, they're also coordinating with their insurance provider. And insurance providers are responding very positively to this action and very confidently to this action. Do I receive a copy of the digital report with records of all persons scanned? Yes, very important. And do I receive a copy of all signed liability waivers from the event attendees? Absolutely, yes, 100%. And then does event scan allow me to track all event attendees successfully scanned? Yes. So what we have is a color-coded contact tracing protocol. And that protocol is discussed ahead of time with the event host, and it's actually customized based on the type of event that is being held. So there's a couple of different options within that color-coded system for us to choose from. My venue has a security team on the premises, so does the event scan system work with existing security systems? The answer is yes. Many hotels, many convention centers, many corporate buildings have security teams on the premises. They're either at the front of the building, near the elevator bank, and then again, they could be at the back of the building, at the vendor's entrance. So it's very common to have a security team on site. So thankfully, the event scan system can be fully integrated into their system so that they're included in the protocol during the event. If a guest does test positive for elevated body temperature, what happens? Good question. What we're finding is that when this happens, 9 times out of 10, that individual simply got overheated, either walking to the event or getting ready and then transport to the event. Some people have temperature variation based on emotional status. So in other words, say something stressful happened right before they arrived, that can also impact temperature. So knowing that that's a 9 out of 10 possibility, then we have a protocol set up with the event host, which we established prior to the event, that actually sets aside a room that's climate controlled for that guest. If tested positive, that guest can be set aside, they can cool down, have a bottle of water, and then return back for a second scan roughly 10 minutes later. And you'd be surprised how many people pass successfully on the second scan. Can I buy event scan systems online on retail websites? And the answer is no. As I said, this was very difficult technology to get our hands on. And now that we have it, we've packaged it, and it's exclusively available to our industry, to the event industry, not online through retail. And thankfully, we have national affiliates that are actually taking on this system so that they can provide it into their local communities. And again, let's get events live and get them live as fast as possible and as safe and securely as possible. So that is what event scan is. That was a lot of information, and you will be receiving a recorded version of this webinar afterwards today. Allison and I both will be in contact with you so that if you do have questions or you would like to set up a call, you can obviously reach out to us by email, phone, or website here at ILD. Allison will be presenting and introducing you to ABC Clean separately, and you'll also receive her contact as well. So Allison, we're going to switch over to you. Hello, Allison.
Hi, I just need the screen sharing capabilities.
Wonderful. Let's get you set up for that. Here we go.
Great. Okay, Thank you, Catherine, and thank you everybody for taking the time to join us today and educate yourselves on COVID-19 prevention and protocol. I will be chatting with you today about ABC Cleans and the disinfect and BioProtect products and treatments that we have available today. When Catherine and I saw the new businesses and services that each of our companies were offering, we got together for a phone call and we quickly realized we could combine our resources and provide education to our industry and beyond on these different treatments and services, and the BioProtect combined with the thermal scanning cameras really are a nice complementary service to one another. So it kind of became a no-brainer that we wanted to bring ourselves together and educate our industry. Quickly give you a little background on Austin Venue Collective. Austin Venue Collective is a company I founded 3 years ago. We manage event booking for bars, restaurants, and venue spaces. We mainly focus in the bar and restaurant realm of booking and managing private events for bars and restaurants in the Austin area. And we work with about 20 or so bars and restaurants in the Austin area right now. So enter COVID, and of course, like so many of us, we had a pause on our day-to-day business through Austin Venue Collective, and the opportunity for ABC Cleans kind of presented itself. Some of you may know Nikki Oberly. DJ Nix is her DJ name here in Austin, and her husband is Jason Oberly, who is the owner of The Disinfected. The Disinfected is a certified distributor and installer of the BioProtect system, which we'll be diving into deep here today. So Nikki connected us to Jason, and as soon as we started chatting, we realized we could use the Austin Venue Collective network of peers and colleagues and start educating everybody out there in venues, bars, restaurants on the BioProtect system and what it has to offer. So there's two main offerings: the BioProtect system, which both disinfects and protects your space, along with the BioProtect hydrating hand sanitizer. With these products and treatments combined, we are helping to implement higher health and sanitation standards for our community. And this goes beyond just the venue community, but really any public space. It's an investment in the well-being of staff, vendors, guests, anybody entering any types of public spaces, and building trust for people to return to those public environments again. We're also encouraging that places that are using these tools, both the BioProtect products and treatments along with the thermal scanning cameras, to use that in the marketing of your reopening, or as we move forward, in your information on your spaces, all of these steps that you have taken to make your space safe. Also encouraging people to share this on their social media, website, and all of that good stuff. BioProtect, the parent company of BioProtect is ViaClean Technologies. They're a biotech company based in Philadelphia, and they were established in 2018. So actually, we're working to bring the BioProtect system to market even prior to COVID. They focus on safe and sustainable solutions through those traditional cleaning technologies and chemicals that come with those traditional cleaning products. So enter COVID, and ViaClean Technologies and the BioProtect systems is just, flying out the doors. But they're the ones that developed this BioProtect system. A little overview on the benefits of the BioProtect system. It's a water-based and patented technology, so it doesn't have any chemicals or anything like a traditional cleaning technology would. It protects long-term, so it protects the surface once it's treated for up to 90 days, so the quarterly treatment. And what it protects against is pretty much anything you are wanting it to protect against. So bacteria, virus, of course, COVID being the #1 question that's asked, mold, mildew, any microorganism it's going to protect against. And that it can be applied pretty much anywhere. It's the only food contact surface safe product on the market today, and it can be applied on any type of surface. So what it is a patented EPA registered technology. Oops, had to move the screen so you can see that. And again, it's water-based and it protects on the surface for up to 90 days. What it does is it uses that technology and provides both disinfection and long-term protection, killing anything bad that possibly could hit that surface, bacteria, virus, mold, any microorganism that could live on the surface. And what makes it different? So we're going to see all sorts of products being marketed to today's world. But this, again, is the only food safe antimicrobial surface protectant on the market today. You're going to see everybody advertising that they're disinfecting their space, or cleaning companies promoting disinfectants, and that's great, and we definitely need to disinfect spaces, public spaces, but if we're not then following up with a protected surface protectant on top of that, as soon as the bacteria or virus enters that disinfected space again, it's no longer protected. So the BioProtect is what is offering us that extended protection and treatment. How it works, so we'll see this little diagram here of an untreated and a bioprotected surface. And when the BioProtect is applied to a surface, it creates this antimicrobial coating where you see the spikes, and that those spikes basically carry a positive charge that attracts the negatively charged bacteria. So any bacteria, virus, anything that's hitting this bioprotected surface is essentially going to be killed on contact. How it's applied into spaces is super easy and straightforward. A spray, mist, or fog of the BioProtect directly onto the surfaces that we're wanting to protect. It's going to be done with simple pump sprayers, or when we're scheduling treatments through the disinfected, they are using electrostatic fogging sprayers, which is just going to provide efficiency and efficient use of product and an efficient way of getting the product onto the surfaces. It will be basically an instant protection, and after it's applied, again, it lasts for up to 90 days, so it is a quarterly treatment. Quickly going to just switch gears and talk about the BioProtect hand sanitizer. So the BioProtect hydrating hand sanitizer is a bit different than your average hand sanitizer. We can see in the chart kind of all the things that it is and how it's different than a leading hand sanitizer. But the largest takeaway being that it protects on your skin for up to 6 hours. So an entire wedding or an event, your hands are going to be protected even as you touch things, wash them, attend the event, whatever the case may be. It's going to give you that long-lasting protection. This hand sanitizer uses FDA-approved active ingredient BZK, which is a short acronym for a very long word. But basically, the FDA has 2 active ingredients that are approved in hand sanitizer, one of which is alcohol, which we're all very familiar with. But that alcohol is flammable and harsh on your skin, all of that stuff. BZK is what's going to be that active ingredient that's providing us that long-term protection. It is available in individual 1.7 ounce bottles that are great for wedding favors, corporate welcome bags, any type of gift. From a larger venue level, we do have it available by the gallon for dispensers. This is just a quick snapshot of the BioProtect system, some of their customers. This customer list, believe it or not, is from January 2020. Like I mentioned, this technology was coming to market or was in market even prior to COVID. Enter COVID, and this client list has really vastly grown and changed since the beginning of this year. So we have both commercial customers that purchase wholesale product directly, and then of course we have customers that are utilizing the BioProtect service treatments. Here on a local level, we have scheduled treatment with Mercury Hall, which is a local venue in town, prior to their first event, which will be taking place mid-June. So I think just 1 or 2 days before their first scheduled event, we're going to get them treated. We've partnered with a local cleaning company, 512 Cleaning, happy to share their info. They're offering the BioProtect treatments in addition to the cleaning services that they've always offered. And then ABC Cleans is available to schedule with you for treatments and drop ship of product. The price quote process and scheduling process are very quick and simple, based on square footage, and it's really quick turnarounds on that. Again, from a pricing perspective, which Catherine dove into a bit during her presentation, these types of treatments and products, we are seeing venues and spaces building them into the cost to the end client. And that kind of concludes everything we were here to talk about today. Here's all of my contact information. Again, we will be sending follow-ups directly to everybody that attended the webinar today. We really want to thank you for taking the time to educate yourselves, and we believe the more education on what is available to us in our community, the faster we're going to be able to safely return to live events. Again, we'll be sending all that follow-up info via email. Catherine and myself will also be available to schedule direct calls for any questions. And thank you again.